Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 95. The European competition that was supposed to crush Tesla is not doing so well. And the so-called leader in the EV race has no EV to sell. And Tesla's production in China is off the chart, but it might get even bigger in 2022. And Rivian is seeing some delays with their production. And the Tesla short sellers are leaving their sinking ship. And we see the charging power of the Lucid Air. But something doesn't seem right. All this and much more to come on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
In Europe, we do see history repeat itself with Tesla's deliveries, although as always with Tesla, it does get better and better every single month. And if we look at Tesla's deliveries here from Q3, we can see that Tesla hardly has any sales until the 17th of August, because Tesla has no cars available in Europe, but then their ship starts to come into Europe and their sales just go ballistic. And in Q3, we can see that by the 25th of August, the sales were 1,257 units sold. But now here in Q4, we can see that by the 25th of November, Tesla already has 1,784 units. That is an increase of 42% in the first 56 days of the quarter. And now we have 36 days left of the quarter from when these charts were made for Tesla sales to do what Tesla sales does at the end of every quarter: shoot for the moon. And even though short sellers and haters like Mark Spiegel and Gordon Johnson thought that the competition in Europe would just destroy Tesla sales in Europe, well, it is kind of the opposite we are seeing. Like the little Renault Zoe that was the best-selling EV in Europe in 2021 with just over 87,000 units, just beating the Model 3 that sold just about 75,000 units. And we saw the ID.3 at 50,000 units and the Audi e-tron that was a lot of talk about because it was Norway's best-selling EV in 2020 that sold almost 29,000 units in total in Europe. But with all of this new competition that has come to Europe, well, Tesla sales should be down according to the short sellers, right? Well, the Tesla Model 3 has year-to-date sold over 84,000 units and has become Europe's best-selling EV. By far, there is no longer any competition for the top spot. The number 2 on the list has almost half the sales, and that is the ID.3 with only 45,000 units. So that car will probably not beat last year's number, or maybe just get to last year's number. But where is the European EV king from last year that so many commented on? Well, Tesla is beaten by the Renault Zoe in Europe. Tesla is not doing well in Europe and so on. Well, unfortunately, the little Renault Zoe is a shadow of its former self. It has so far only sold about 42,000 here in 2021. That is less than half of last year's sales. What about Norway's EV king from last year, the e-tron? Well, it has so far only sold about 18,000, and the I-Pace is even worse. Last year it sold just above 12,000 units, but year to date it has not even sold 3,500 units. Ouch, and the Mercedes EQC also seems to be going down, and the Porsche Taycan sales in Europe is also down. So all of these EVs, the so-called competition, were all supposed to crush Tesla here in Europe, but as we can see, Tesla is only going up and will probably end the year off as the best-selling EV brand in Europe, and will no doubt end up with the best-selling EV in Europe with no competition in sight. And the competition is all down, even though EV sales in Europe are skyrocketing. So I guess the competition was bad for the competition. And the last ship from the Shanghai factory has just left for the Suez Channel loaded with Teslas, and one of them has just arrived in Great Britain, and the last 7 ships will arrive in Europe during December, and the latest will probably arrive on the 20th of December. So Tesla will just keep feeding the European market with thousands of Teslas for the rest of the year, and they are already ahead of last quarter, so have no doubt that the Q4 in Europe will be a record-breaking quarter for Tesla, and they will be the leader in the EV race in Europe in 2021, even before they open up their factory in Berlin. And remember what happened in China when they opened up a factory there. Yep, their deliveries grew 4.8 times. Imagine if the same happens in the European market. That would take Tesla to a whole new level. I did just make a whole video about Tesla's rise in Europe. If you haven't checked that one out yet, I can highly recommend that you do so. And remember how we have been talking about Tesla getting over 1 billion euros in subsidies to build the battery factory at the Gigafactory 4 in Berlin. But Tesla has just turned that down. Wow, Tesla don't need any help anymore. They can do it all by themselves. Or maybe it's just too complicated working with the German government, as we have seen with all the troubles getting the last permission to start production in Berlin. That not even 1 billion euros is worth the trouble. As Elon tweeted, we learned our lesson with the $465 million loan they received in 2010-2011. Onerous terms exceed value of money received. That's why we paid back so early, despite the early payment penalty. What the hell? Tesla got an early payment penalty. I guess that is why Ford and GM has never paid back their loans. And Elon did also tweet, it has always been Tesla's view that all subsidies should be eliminated, but that must include the massive subsidies for oil and gas. And for some reason, the governments don't want to do that. Yeah, the fossil fuel industry is kept artificially alive by all those subsidies. But Tesla doesn't need any help anymore. No president, no government, or no amount of FUD can hold them back anymore. But for Tesla to turn down this money will of course be a good thing for other projects that are more in need of it. As the Federal Economy Ministry stated, the state subsidies not used by Tesla are now available for other projects. So cool to see Tesla not just being a greedy big company that is only doing this for the money. I will bet you GM had taken that money without thinking twice. Well, let's take a look at the EV race in the US, where President Biden said GM was leading. But GM has just announced they will not produce more Bolt for the rest of 2021. So, the so-called leader in the EV race doesn't have a single EV you can buy right now. Embarrassing. But at least they announced that it's officially kicking off the final production of the electric Hummer. So at least they're starting production of these 10,000 Hummer EVs they promised. But the name we are not supposed to say, Tesla, will probably deliver something like 60,000 EVs in Q4 alone in the US alone. Maybe more. So how is it exactly that GM is leading again, Mr. President? I keep forgetting. Because Tesla Model 3 is also the most American-made car. It reached the #1 spot in Car.com's 2021 list American-made index, making it the first electric vehicle to top the list in its 16 years history. No, it's not the Bolt or the Hummer EV, Mr. President. It's the Tesla. Say it after me. Tesla. Also because Tesla is leaving everyone in the dust in California. Tesla is so dominating that even CNBC is talking about it. Yep, they are all starting to get it. No denying Tesla's lead anymore, except that you're the President of the United States or working for GM, of course. But let's hear what CNBC had to say.
Meantime, we're going to talk a little bit about Tesla because it is feeling the California love. You ready for this? New data showing that the EV giant is leaving the competition in the dust somewhere on the Pacific Coast Highway. And for that, Phil LeBeau joins us this morning. Phil.
Andrew, we get this data every quarter from the California New Car Dealers Association, and it's a great look at how the country's largest auto market is moving in terms of trends, what people are buying, what they're not buying, and the numbers look incredible for Tesla. Now, they've always been strong in California. It's always been their strongest market. But look at the surge in sales this year. Nobody's close to them, up 64%. There you see Porsche, Hyundai, and Kia. The strength of this, the Model Y. Now, the Model 3 has always done well there, but the Model Y, it is the 5th best-selling model in California. Let me stress this again. Not the 5th best electric vehicle, the 5th best-selling vehicle, period. It is also the #1 luxury compact SUV in California. One reason why, when you take a look at Tesla's annual sales, the estimates continue to go up, not just because of California, but because of what they're doing worldwide. The estimate now, according to FactSet, is for full-year deliveries to reach 893,000 vehicles. Don't be surprised by the end of the year if the estimate tops 900,000 vehicles. As you take a look at Tesla over the last 3 months, remember, the Gigafactory hasn't even come online. It starts production the end of this year. We'll probably start to see the first vehicles coming out of the Gigafactory next year, and we don't see the Cybertruck until towards the end of next year coming out of there. Also want to show you Ford, Rivian, and General Motors. And why am we showing you all three of these companies? Because all of them have electric pickup trucks that are either have already started deliveries. In the case of Rivian with the R1T, you've got the F-150 Lightning from Ford, and then you've got General Motors e-Silverado. Yes, they have the Hummer SUT, but the e-Silverado is the really high-volume electric pickup truck that's coming in 2023. What you're going to see is a real battle, guys, in Southern California, because it is the largest pickup market in this country. Larger than Dallas and Houston, Southern California. And it's also a nice mix of both the traditional full-size pickup buyer as well as the lifestyle buyer. And that's where the Cybertruck is likely to do very well. So new numbers out of California show just how strong Tesla is in that state. And I expect that they will maintain that dominance, certainly when it comes to electric vehicles in that state. But when you see the overall market, with the Model Y now the 5th best-selling vehicle overall, shows you just how quickly Tesla has established itself out there.
But we are missing one market, the big one, and that is China. But we do see a surprise guest on the top 20 list over best-selling EVs in China. And as I reported 2 weeks ago, Tesla China delivered 54,391 units, 41,666 was exported and only 13,725 were for domestic sales. And as I said, Tesla's production numbers were probably going to be pretty similar, about 50,000 units. Well, that turned out to be right on the money. We just got Tesla's production numbers, and Tesla did produce 55,554 units, almost 50-50 between the Model 3 and the Model Y. That is just an incredible production rate, especially because the factory was shut down for 7 days because of national holiday. So we should expect a lot more here in November, as we talked about before, and half of the production in November has probably been exported and the other half has been for domestic sales, and so will pretty much all of December's production number. So Tesla could potentially produce and deliver something like 100,000 cars to the Chinese market in just the last 2 months of the year. That should secure Tesla's number 2 and 3 spot on the top 20 list of best-selling EVs in the country. And the only other foreign automaker on the top 20 list is a new kid on the top 20 list. Say hello to the ID.4. Yeah, congratulations Volkswagen on the top 20 spot. Nice to see the Volkswagen ID.4 getting into the top 20 this year. It is far from the numbers Volkswagen was hoping for, but we will see how the rest of the year goes if they can get further up that list. But one thing is for sure, they will not catch up to Tesla, which has 10% of the Chinese EV market, where Volkswagen as a group only sits on 4%. So yeah, Tesla is doing really well in Europe, the US and China. It is all good. And it is about to become much better. And not just the opening of the Berlin and Texas factory, but Ben TV showed that Tesla will expand the production line in the Shanghai plant, not by building the last part of the factory, but only adding another production line to the already existing factory. The total investment in the production line is up to 1.2 billion RMB and will be completed by April next year. This is crazy. We know the run rate of the Shanghai factory is already close to 900,000 as of today. But as Ben TV writes, Tesla plans to have a production capacity of 1 to 1.5 million units at the Shanghai plant next year. Say what? We have always been counting 1 million for Shanghai as a max capacity, but I guess the rumor about Shanghai being able to do 2 million might turn out to be true, because remember, the factory is not fully built out yet. They are building on the south corner right now, but where the parking lot is right now is also going to be a part of the factory at some point. This is just so crazy, and making the 2 million units for 2022 seems very possible. And as Sawyer wrote on Twitter, for comparison, one of the largest automakers manufacture plant in the world, the Volkswagen Wolfsburg plant in Germany, produced about 800,000 vehicles per year. And he continued, the most insane part, Volkswagen's Wolfsburg plant is 70 million square feet versus 9.3 million for Giga Shanghai. We don't know what size the Giga Shanghai will be in 2022, but it certainly won't be 70 million square feet. This speaks a lot for Tesla's efficiency. Yes, and this is why Volkswagen is planning to build a whole new factory close to its Wolfsburg plant, because they are starting to figure out that they can't just retrofit their old factory and expect to get up to Tesla's efficiency. They have to start all over and build up from scratch. But man, 2021 has been a crazy year for Tesla and a real tipping point for the EV revolution. But in 2022, Tesla is simply going to explode. What a great year we have to look forward to. And Tesla's full self-driving beta is getting very good. And even though it might be a while before we get to level 5, it could still have huge potential profits for Tesla in the short term. Just check out this video from Homar's catalog, because he just did a 3.5-hour drive with 0 takeovers. As he ride in soul-sucking Thanksgiving Eve traffic, 3.5 hours with automated driving. Wow, what I wouldn't give to have that in my car. And don't get me wrong, I love driving my Tesla, but through soul-sucking traffic, no thanks. And I think many people feel like that. And when Tesla is done with the beta testing and can release it into the public, not as level 5, but just a very good level 4. And as Niklas suggested on Twitter, give the first month for free for the Tesla owners, so they can just see how amazing and mind-blowing this full self-driving software is. Yep, I think the take rate will go up dramatically. I have a hard time understanding why anyone would not want this, but it is of course very expensive at $10,000, but you can of course just subscribe to it as well. And when people get to experience just how crazy the full self-driving software is and how helpful it will be on long drive and through traffic jams and so on, I think it will have a huge take rate for many new buyers or already Tesla owners without full self-driving software. And everyone that doesn't own a Tesla that tries this software out is going to want to buy a Tesla. And Tesla's demand will just go up even further. And Tesla probably already have 1.5 million cars on the road that can use this software. We are looking at a huge profit for Tesla. Maybe it will not be 50% as Niklas is suggesting, but it could. But even if it's only 10% of the fleet that will buy it, we're still talking at about $1.5 billion in pure profits. Yes, this part of Tesla's business is enormously underrated, as Teslectrix wrote on Twitter, because no matter how many that will buy the full self-driving when it comes out of beta, we are talking about billions of dollars in pure profit. And that is just a little sneak peek of what to come when we get to level 5. And I'm still very bullish on that happening sooner rather than later, because of the way AI learns, and Tesla is using AI to drive their car. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably haven't seen my video on this topic that Niklas is referring to here in this tweet. And you definitely should check that one out. It is one of my best rated videos of all time with 99.1% like rate. I will leave a link to the video down below or click the card in the corner. And we got a charging speed test of the Lucid Air this week. But the test reveals something a little fishy about the Lucid Air. YouTuber Tom Malogny did a charging test of the Lucid Air on a DC fast charger from Electrify America that could do up to 350 kilowatts of charging. And it did charge with over 300 kilowatts of charging speed for a couple of minutes, maxed out at 304 kilowatts. So I do believe that is the fastest speed we have seen a car do so far. Very impressive. And you do get a lot of miles back into the battery very quickly. So that is very nice. Should get 100 miles miles in just 5 minutes. That is 160 kilometers, where Tesla only gets 120 kilometers in 5 minutes. But something did stand out to me that was a little fishy from what Lucid had told us. As you can see, Tom charged all the way up to 100%, but look at the amount of kilowatt hours that has been added to the car. 134 kilowatt hours. What? Lucid said it only had 118 kilowatt hour battery, and therefore it was the most efficient EV on the planet. But that seems not to be true. Tom just put in 134 kilowatt hours. I know you lose some in heat, but 16 kilowatt hours? I don't buy that. And that is a very big battery if this is the case. Remember, the Model S only has a 105 kilowatt hour battery. And if this is the case, the range of the Lucid is not that impressive anymore if they just got the 520 miles range EPA, but by putting in 30 kilowatt hours more than Tesla uses, and should make it much more problematic for Lucid to make profit with the Lucid Air if it has 134 kilowatt hours of very expensive batteries inside the car. But they have delivered some cars now, so we should see more information on all of this in the near future. Maybe Sandy Monroe can get his hand on one and rip it apart and show us what amount of batteries are truly in the battery pack. But let's keep a little eye on this. An Australian researcher are to study how Tesla car battery can power the grid. Australia's University of Queensland said it would recruit Tesla car owners around the world to analyze if the vehicle's spare battery capacity could support the energy grid and even power homes in the future. For the first phase of the study, Tesla owners in Australia, United States, Canada, Norway, Sweden, Germany and Britain can apply. The program could be expanded later to include other electric vehicle companies. With increasing numbers of electric vehicles globally, scientists are looking to find how the battery can provide other cleaner energy service beside helping lower emission in the transport industry. We have heard about this vehicle to grid many times, but this is so cool to see a study of this potential actually being conducted. And SpaceX had a very important mission this week, taking off with NASA's DART mission. And that is NASA's involvement in looking for potential asteroids and comets that might impact Earth and preventing these near-Earth objects to reach our planet. As Elon tweeted, avenge the dinosaurs. And in 2016, NASA established the Planetary Defense Coordination Office, PDC, to manage these planetary defense efforts. The Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART, is NASA's first spacecraft mission developed to demonstrate the asteroid deflection technique, where they will slam this satellite into the asteroid to change its course. But this asteroid is far away. The collision will not happen before September or October next year. DART is one part of NASA's large planetary defense strategy that will help us learn how to better protect our planet in the future. Very cool, and good to see we're actually working on this now before an asteroid is heading our way, so we will be better prepared than we usually are in all the movies. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. And we got to see a very much improved responsiveness of Tesla's UI in the Netflix app. Very impressive. And if people have a hard time imagining just how big Tesla's gigafactories are, well, Bartos on Twitter gave some great examples here. The first phase of the Berlin factory is as big as 24 soccer fields, and the Giga Texas factory is as big as 90 football fields. Man, those are some big factories. And Ford is setting up their straight-up copied design of the Tesla Supercharger at their Ford dealer in Dover. But even though it looks like a Tesla Supercharger, it is not. This is only a level 2 charger. Why would you put that up at your dealership? Yeah, you can go out and try to charge a brand new Mach-E. Yes, it will take several of hours, but hey, you just spent several of hours in the dealership buying your car with a $20,000 market adjustment price. So what's another couple of hours? Am I right? And Mercedes-Benz teases an upcoming hyper-efficient electric car with over 1,000 kilometers, 620 miles of range. While they are still only talking about a concept vehicle, they made it clear that some of this technology in the concept will make it to new electric vehicle platform that will support Mercedes-Benz future electric vehicles. And remember, Mercedes said they will be fully electric by 2030, so getting more and more serious about the switch to EVs. An accident that killed 2 and injured 6 people last September in China put Tesla in the spotlight. This has sparked a wave of unfounded concerns about the safety of the manufacturer's vehicle. But the woman driving has been found guilty. The Tesla car did not have a safety thread, and the driver is fully responsible for the accident. Surprise, surprise. And Rivian is seeing some delays with their productions. Therefore, deliveries in Canada are pushed back to July 2022, should have been here in November. And the R1S deliveries in the US delayed to May 2022. Yep. Production is the real challenge. And other bad news for Rivian, their delivery van range is lower than disclosed. Rivian disclosed that the van have a range between 120 to 150 miles, but the van experienced as much as 40% range loss depending on the weather. That brings the range down to just 72 to 90 miles. Like I showed you last month, a Ford dealership did take $20,000 in market adjustment price. And I have made a whole video about just how big the problem of the dealerships are for the old OEMs. Not an asset. And we got more proof of this again this week. As shared recently by members of the EV community, the buying experience of Ford's well-reviewed Mark E could become so challenging at times, it eventually becomes easier just to order a Tesla instead. Even the Ford representative at the dealership told the customer that. So he went and bought a Tesla instead. And the UK will require all new buildings to have an EV charging station starting in 2022. Very nice. I have been saying this for years. You should not be allowed to build a big parking lot or apartment building in the city anymore without putting up chargers. So people in apartments also will end up with the ability to charge overnight as us who lives in the house. Now I think we have just seen the first step toward that. Nice. And Hyundai is following Tesla's lead and plans to sell rooftop solar, energy storage and home EV chargers. Yes, as the saying goes, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that majority can pay to greatness. And Tesla now has 10 full-time Tesla-bot humanoid robots related jobs posting. And Tesla has made it easier for owners to purchase upgrades or subscriptions by allowing them to purchase them from the inside of the car with a new over-the-air update. And short sellers are leaving their sinking ship. Short position in Tesla as a percentage of the company's total shares available to trade have fallen to 3.3% from 19.6% at the start of last year. Ouch. Yep, if you bet against Elon, you will get hurt. Just look at Jim Chanos and David Einhorn that has lost billions of dollars betting against Tesla. Actually combined, the short seller has lost over $60 billion betting against Tesla. No wonder that 96.7% of the people are now long Tesla. Like I said, by the end of this year, everyone will get it. Let's see if the last 3.3% still holds on by the end of this year. And a Ford caught fire during the auto show in China. No, it's not an EV, just a smoking nice car. Smoking! And JP Morgan is suing Tesla for $162 million over a trade the bank helped arrange in 2014. Elon made a funny little response tweeting, "If JP Morgan doesn't withdraw their lawsuit, I will give them a 1-star rating on Yelp. This is my final warning." But after that tweet, a lot of people thought it would be funny to give them a 1-star rating, which resulting in Yelp freezing the reviews. A team of postgraduate engineering students at the University of Toronto won $250,000 prize from Elon Musk for their effort to capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere using electricity. Nice. And another great example of that we need full self-driving sooner rather than later. Wait for it. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this channel. Adam Roszewski, Richard Phillips, and I thank you for watching members, Roar Handen, Royce, and my Be Nice and You Are member, Ron L. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this show. Thank you. And a special thanks and shout out to Supporter of the Week, and this week's winner is Booba Conway, who has been a patron of mine since April this year. Thank you so much, my friend, for the big support you do. I will contact you for details on Patreon, but go in, check the merch store out and find the t-shirt or mug that you would like to get. And let's end off with a bit of fun, because President Biden is the comedian that just keeps giving.
So when you buy an electric vehicle, and you get credit for buying it, you buy an electric vehicle, you can go all the way across America on a single tank of gas.
That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help out the video a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.